Good morning and welcome to the Daily Bible Podcast. My name is William Hemsworth. Thank you so much for joining me for today's episode. Well, we continue our journey on through Matthew chapter 5, which is popularly known as the Sermon on the Mount. Very powerful teachings of Jesus. Whole books have been written on it. We're about halfway through. So very, very good stuff here. Today we're going to continue on Matthew chapter 5, verses 27 and 28. And those verses say, "You have heard that it was said, 'You shall not commit adultery.' But I say to you that everyone who looks at a woman with lust has already committed adultery with her in his heart." So just as a little bit of background, Jesus is talking to his disciples, and he's clarifying what the law says. You see, the Pharisees were going around teaching the law, but they weren't living the law. And we see this various times. We see this particularly with adultery in the Gospel of John. I think of the woman who, they were about to stone her for committing adultery. Well, adultery takes two people. So she was caught in the act of adultery. Where was the guy? Speculation is that that guy was one of the ones carrying the stone, one of the Pharisees. So they were teaching the law, but they weren't letting the law change them. They weren't living the law. So today Jesus takes a look at adultery. He clarifies that, yes, adultery is when a married person has relations, if you will, with someone else. That is one definition of adultery. Jesus takes this a step further for us. He says, even if you look at someone and have lust for them in your heart, you have committed adultery. So this is different from looking at someone saying, wow, they're a beautiful person. They're blessed with good looks. This goes to the next level, where you're envisioning them. In various acts, if you will, no clothing, etc. You're envisioning them in a way that you should not be. You're objectifying them. Jesus is calling us to task. And we all struggle with that. I'm sure it's been an issue for all of us. So Jesus is saying, hey, this is what adultery is. It's not just this one thing. It's also this. You can commit adultery without doing the sexual act. It could be emotional. You can be lusting for someone, etc. So Jesus, once again, is calling us to live to a higher standard. And I think that's a very important thing to look at, especially in today's society. Well, thank you for joining me on this edition of the Daily Bible Podcast. As always, if you enjoy the show, please rate it, please share it. If you're looking at this on YouTube, please subscribe, please comment. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode, and enjoy your Sunday. God bless you.